Dan, one of the things that people talk about constantly in these letters that we get from all over the world is we're just not communicating in our relationship. Communication is the problem. And I know as a therapist, often people come in with that as their leading problem. We're not communicating.
Right.
So I was wondering what thoughts you might have about that.
I think there's so many different ways to approach it, but maybe the most succinct stuff that I've heard and I've used has to do with a pattern of communication that's really broken down into 4 different kinds. There's active constructive responding, there's active destructive responding, there's passive constructive responding, and passive destructive. So those are the 4, and maybe I can give you some examples.
I feel like I should have a blackboard
1, 2, 3,
here.
4. Yeah, right.
Okay, so
well, 1, active constructive. So if you come home and you say, I just got a raise at work. Active constructive would be, fabulous, that's great. Let's go out and celebrate. We'll get a babysitter for tonight and let's go out. In other words, it's very, very positive and it's active. It's not just like, oh honey, that was our, it's taking the event and elevating it through action. A passive constructive response would be, oh honey, that's good, we could use the money. It's good, but there's no action behind it. No celebration in it. And we know that celebration is important with couples. So you could have an active constructive or a passive constructive. And by far those are the best. Active constructive being the best thing. The passive destructive would be, oh, they're probably going to need more from you from work now. You're probably going to have to stay longer at work. It's passive because it's not like, really dumping on you. But it's a downer.
It's a downer.
And then you could have an active destructive, which is like, who's going to make dinner then? You put too much time into that job as it is. So they're giving you a little more money, they're going to steal your soul. Now that's really, hurtful. The idea is to try and get as many of the constructive elements as you can, either active or passive. And the more active ones you can have, that strengthens the relationship because it means you're going to want to tell me things because you know I'm going to be able to respond.